put me on the ballot and let me vote, and I will do a better job than half the ballot that's going on. Half the people that are on the ballot. I could do better than Haley Sawyer, for crying out loud. Welcome to episode 290 of Empty the Bench here on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network, presented by Playback. He's Zain, Bando. I'm Nick Morgasen. Follow us on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at ETB Sports. Follow the Empty the Bench Podcast Network at ETB Network, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Follow our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network. We have broken the 1,000 subscriber mark, climbing, so please go over there and press the subscribe button. And if you can't watch on the video site, listen to Empty the Bench wherever you get your podcasts, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you want, you can find it. And Empty the Bench is presented by Playback, playback.tv/ETB Network. We are in the mix of MLB Playoffs, WNBA Finals, NFL Red Zone. So come join our community, and you'll hear a message about that later on in the show. Okay. We were off last week. We're very busy right now across the network, doing a lot of streams on Playback, a lot of playoffs right now. So a lot of things got moved around. But we are back. It's episode 290. And I think, Zain, this is going to be quite a bang of an episode with a lot of topics.
Yeah, I think it'll be a bang of an episode as well. We cover a variety of different perspectives on this show, if you will, across multiple different sports. So I'm looking forward to it. And just off the top, and I know you may we're about to get to it, but I'll just do it for you. We apologize that there was no Thursday night football preview. For full disclosure, Nick and I were both wrong. We both had the Rams covering the spread. They lost outright. So that's another L in the Thursday night football column for both of us during a rough week in the NFL. We'll get to the NFL in a little bit, but just a full disclosure for those that are used to the Thursday afternoon previews that I helped put out for our show. There unfortunately wasn't one for Rams Niners, so just know that that on a more consistent basis, those will come out on Thursdays. So just stay tuned for those starting this week and beyond for the rest of the year. So
let's put it this way. The whole network got that pick wrong, essentially. So we're telling you, because people are going to say, well, you didn't put out your pick because you were wrong. No, we were clearly wrong. We all picked the Rams. So
yeah, we all did.
We'll get that out of the way. All right, big show. The WNBA is going to take the limelight. How often do you hear that, by the way? You don't.
Especially on a show that involves me, it usually doesn't happen.
So we're gonna get into that. We'll go over NFL Week 5, which was an abomination from the. I would say the later window picks were a lot worse than the earlier picks.
Yeah, and shockingly, the late window might have been more entertaining than the early window, which, given the slate that we were going into, I'm surprised that even played out the way that it did. But it was a very electric week and probably a really bad week for most of us. I know myself included didn't do very well. Also, that's what happens in the NFL. You take your lumps and you keep going. So
we get into that. We'll also get into the Mark Sanchez incident, which went from strange to bizarre at one point.
Wasn't that kind of saying the same thing?
Well, no, but I'm saying strange, like we didn't know much. Then it became really bizarre, like afterwards. Right. We'll also get into a bunch of other things as well. We'll give you a Thursday night football pick, like we said. We'll go into college football week 6. Penn State not looking so good right now. Texas not looking so good right now. Where else are we going to go? Oh, we'll talk about your team, Illinois, coming off a victory against USC.
And Purdue, too.
And Purdue. Sorry. And they're going to big game on big noon kickoff for against number 1 Ohio State for week 7.
Excited to give you guys as much content as possible from that, as I will be in the building once again. I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it.
Also, Nick's college football soapbox finally makes its reality, and I've been talking to Zain about this quite a bit. My thoughts of the ranking system. and how I don't like them.
Yeah,
Uh,
now you can publicly disclose it. All of these off-air conversations are finally going to come to light. It's going to be interesting.
yeah. Also, Paul Finebaum and ESPN. There's a lot of weird stuff going on there. We'll get into MLB playoffs. You're going to be at Game 3 of Cubs Brewers. We'll get into the rest of the MLB slate, World Series predictions. Also, Alex Pereira comes in rarefied form for UFC 320 and knocks out
Ankalaev,
Ankalaev in a minute and 30 seconds, I think.
a minute 20. It was 80 seconds.
Okay, so that was incredible. So we have a lot to get to and not as much time. So let's get right into it. Napheesa Collier versus Cathy Engelbert. This is
No,
more.
and just to clarify, ladies and gentlemen, they are not fighting each other in an exhibition.
No, they're not fighting each other. Well, verbally sparring, if you really want to say fighting. But
It's true. It's true.
so I don't know if you saw this when it actually happened, but Callan and I saw it. So the WNBA, CBA has been a large talking point over the last year.
Huge.
And so what's happening now is the negotiations are getting ugly. They're getting severely ugly. And Commissioner Cathy Engelbert made a lot of statements, but Napheesa Collier, in her exit interview with the Minnesota Lynx, came out to the media and read I think she wrote the statement, I'm not sure, but a prepared statement, which was
I would say she did because it was very authentic. I don't think it was.
It didn't sound prepared.
No, and it did not sound canned either.
So Callan and I watched it on Press Row. We did a Code Red edition of Press Row the other night because more news had broken. But she came out, made a full statement. It was about 4.5 minutes long. First of all, I've never heard of an exit interview being done in front of the media. Have you?
No, that's actually how it works in the WNBA, at least most of the time. That's according to Annie Hustable of FOS.
I like
But,
her. She's really good.
But yeah, she was basically saying how each player has a choice. They can either opt into one and speak to the media, or they can do it in private. And hers, meaning Collier's, she decided to do it publicly, which not every player does. So I think it says a whole lot more about her than anybody else. But that's kind of how exit interviews work, I guess. It's different in every sport. Like I can tell you, in college football, having covered it for a couple of years, those exit interviews are private between coaches and players. So every single sport, I think, is a little bit different.
Now, I think the reason they're more private in college football is because there's a lot of stuff that goes down behind the scenes in college football.
At least for the teams I cover, every team could be different, of course, which I don't know for certain, but I know at least for the teams that I cover, those are done privately.
And I could see those being done even more privately now because of the financial behind it with NILs.
I think so too.
But so Napheesa Collier gets up in front of the media, reads her statement. I keep debating in my head if it's prepared, but it's not. I think she wrote it down and then whatever. Now she's dealing with an injury. She had like 3 ligament tears in her leg, and like it's a whole thing. But if you listen to the statement, I don't know if you actually listened to the full statement or not.
Yeah, I did because if you remember, I played part of it last week.
Yes, I got it for you. Yeah. So
Yep.
It's interesting what she revealed. One, she's revealing a private conversation that she had with Cathy Engelbert, the commissioner of the WNBA, basically saying that Cathy doesn't care about the players, doesn't care about their health and their well-being, the officiating stinks, and they're not doing anything to fix it. And it kind of spiraled, right?
Yeah, it spiraled for sure. And before we get to the next layer of this, I just want to be as full disclosure as I can too. I really didn't get a chance to watch Cathy's press conference. I only saw sound bites and certain quotes
It was
from
ugly.
it. And I'm just going to be blunt. And I think just a little tease. I think this could end up being part of the teaser. You never know. I think that she was doing everything she could to cover her ass and hoping that nobody would realize.
Well, first of all, and this is probably not breaking any news of any sort. I think Cathy Engelbert is the worst commissioner in professional sports.
I think most people would agree with you.
I think because if you look at the other commissioners amongst all the other sports, they have some form of sports background. That
Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell, Adam Silver, Rob Manfred, they're either sports background related or they're a lawyer. So they understand how to handle the business aspects of everything.
Or they worked in the entertainment industry.
Right. Now, if I remember correctly, because I've seen it on Cathy's Twitter before, she worked for a company called Delotti, I think was the name of the company. But she doesn't have any.
It's called Deloitte.
Oh, Deloitte. Okay. I didn't know how to pronounce it. But she doesn't really have a background in this stuff whatsoever.
It doesn't seem like it. From the limited info I know, it doesn't seem like it.
So I think she's just inexperienced, and the players have more leverage than they've ever had because they're not doing anything to protect these players that make the league money. How do they get these TV deals? Partially because of the NBA, because the NBA does a lot of the bidding, but at the same time, the players make up the league, not the front office, not the commissioner's office. The players are the product. And I think that's what Cathy fails to realize in this situation. Because what Napheesa revealed, and I don't remember direct quote, but that she said, "Oh, Caitlyn should be thanking her lucky stars. She made 60 million or whatever, or 16 or 60, I don't remember, million off the court. And if she didn't have this platform, she wouldn't have made her money." And I swear to you, when Callan and I went through it and reacted to it, I started laughing because I was like, "What are you talking about?" Caitlyn would have made that money without the WNBA platform.
I think Caitlyn would have made that money without the platform. I mean, I understand that's a different sport, but you could even say that I would say, and I know this is a different sport, but you could say that I would say more people know, just as an example, Livy Dunn for her brand sense than they do for her as a former gymnastics star. And I think her brand is so big that no one even really quantifies that anymore. Same can be said for some of the names that you just mentioned. I think Caitlin Clark is a brand on her own. Same goes with some of these other stars too.
But my point is, when you look at all 5 to 7 years ago, we didn't really look at star quality names, or at least we didn't quantify it in the WNBA 5 to 7 years ago. Now, when you have a Caitlyn,
I could have probably named 2 players who played 5 to 7 years ago, and now I can name at least 10 or 15.
Right. When you have Caitlyn, you have Napheesa. I mean, you have Asia Wilson, who won her 4th MVP, WNBA MVP. You have Paige Beckers, who just entered the league. You have Brianna Stewart. You could go on and on and on. You have Sabrina Ionescu. I mean, New York became relevant again in the championship sphere because of how they spent their money. I mean, there's so many star quality names now in the WNBA. What?
Kelsey Plum too.
Kelsey Plum. Like, you can go on and on and on down this list.
And I'm sure you'd agree that some of these players that we're talking about are bigger than the singular teams that they play for too.
Oh yeah, it's not even a question. Caitlin Clark would be right at the top of that list, that she's bigger than the team. Even though I give Caitlin a lot of credit because she is part of the team building process. She's not just saying, "I'm me, and I'm going to just like disrupt everything my teammates are doing."
Right.
And unlike a certain somebody on the Chicago Sky who I can't stand.
I can't stand her either. And I'm someone who's essentially a native. I'm only 45 minutes away. There are more people I know in this city, Nick, that despise her than like her. I can tell you that.
And you know what? It's funny because like you said to me before we came on here, like I get trolled every time I make a comment about Angel Reese, and the, because Angel Reese is the epitome of the WNBA. I feel like where she claims she wants to be a big WNBA star, but she does everything off the court that makes you want to scratch your head at the same time.
Well, and that makes you think like, oh, do you care more about being in commercials, or do you care more about it actually being part of the sport that you're branded around? And again, this is not me saying that she can't do those things. She definitely can. It's just her emphasis in the way that she decides to brand herself makes it seem like she's trying to be somebody else.
And you know what? Like Napheesa is really trying to fight for this league. Now, she is the VP of the WNBPA. And again, like on Press Row, Calendar and I talked about this as one issue where Napheesa is the VP of the WNBPA, but she's also a part owner in Unrivaled. So
So is that a conflict of interest?
thank you. Yes, of course it's a conflict of interest. But the reason that this is happening is because the WNBA doesn't do a good enough job of financially compensating these players to want to put the effort in to be on a WNBA roster.
Well, I think it says a lot that Caitlin Clark is choosing not to compete in it.
Well, she just came off a injury prone season.
No, I know. I'm just saying it says a lot, like overall, though.
Well,
I just mean like holistically. It says a
I
lot.
I'm going to make a prediction right here where I say eventually, because there is a rumor out there that that Unrivaled is going to make Caitlin Clark a Cristiano Ronaldo type offer, where where it's a big offer with ownership and money and all this stuff. If that happens, number one, she's going to take it because if it's millions of dollars, she's jumping. And if that happens and she jumps to Unrivaled, WNBA is going to fall apart and crumble.
Well, I think it could see a domino effect. You could see all the major stars go there.
But that's my point. I'm saying that if Caitlin does, because I think eventually what's going to happen is you're going to have to pick one or the other. Eventually, this whole process of playing in the WNBA and playing in Unrivaled is just not going to work at some point.
I agree.
And this whole thing is ridiculous. Cathy has no idea how to run this league whatsoever. She tried to walk back during that State of the Union before WNBA game one, finals game one. Well, I never made any of these statements. She made them up. So I'm going to ask you a logical question, okay? As a journalist and as a media person, the two of us sitting here, I'm trying to think of how to say this properly. What incentive does Napheesa Collier have to lie to the media?
None. Simple as that. None.
So why would Cathy even bring that up to say that the statements are false? Why would Napheesa risk the WNBA PA and the players that are being protected and lie about a conversation?
Not just that, but Napheesa Collier's overall reputation too.
I just feel like that wouldn't make any sense.
No, it wouldn't.
So for Cathy to say, "Oh, those statements are inaccurate," Cathy, I don't think she's trying to make a point that you are a terrible commissioner. Like, she has no gain from lying to the media. Where some athletes sometimes they do it because they're trying to get a new contract or they're trying to financially put themselves in a better spot.
Napheesa's not doing that.
I'm not saying she is, but I'm saying other athletes will purposely lie to the media.
No, right. I'm saying she's one of the ones who isn't doing that though. So,
but and some of the quotes, because I have them here. So she called the WNBA's lack of accountability from the league office on issues surrounding officiating as well. The officiating has been terrible across the WNBA. Players are getting hurt. It's either players are getting hurt or they're blowing the whistle too much. So I don't know how you fix that issue. Callan told me that apparently the WNBA officials are trained in the NBA G League system. So you would think there'd be no issues, right?
You would hope so, but apparently not.
So I'm going to ask you, if you were the commissioner of the WNBA right now,
Okay.
and you see the way that Cathy's running this, what is your number one? What are you saying in her ear? And then number two, what are you doing to fix this?
Um. Well, first off, my first order of business would be to put out the PR um firestorm and just say, I've seen Napheesa Collier's comments. I'm going to address these at a later time when I can gather more facts and information. Because to me, just from a personal standpoint, she jumped the gun by responding to that way too quickly.
I agree. And then
So that's one. Two, you should say you could do this, and you don't even have to make this public. If I was in this position, just call Napheesa privately, just like ask her what's going on, and maybe you have a private conversation, and then maybe you reach some sort of a resolution as to what was actually said. And then number three, which is the thing that I think she failed to do, and I'm sure you're going to agree with this. The first thing she should have done, and I didn't, and please tell me if I'm maybe getting this wrong. The first thing that I was hoping she would do is say, our focus is on tonight's game one of the WNBA finals. This is obviously a huge issue that we can't sweep under the rug, but the focus should be on the players and the coaches right now who are competing in the WNBA finals.
so yes, so she did start that 6-minute diatribe, I call it, with saying, "Oh well, it's WNBA Finals Game 1, blah 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 blah," whatever every commissioner says before the finals of any or World Series or anything starts. Um, but it kept like going back and forth where she was trying to be like, "Oh well, I care about the players," and then she would double down on a different statement every time she was talking. So like
Mm-hmm.
there was no clear message
Right.
to what she was trying to accomplish. Now, just to put a bow, because I want to make sure we get to everything else on the show, the news broke the other night at the end of the week that after the statements were made where Cathy responded, they were supposed to have another meeting, her and Napheesa. They were supposed to have a second meeting. The news broke that Napheesa canceled the meeting and said, I want nothing to do with Cathy anymore. So that's what led to our emergency stream because she canceled the meeting and she basically said that the two sides are further apart than they've ever been during this CBA negotiation.
Wow. Yeah, that's not a good look for anybody involved. But certainly, the biggest loser in this whole thing is Collier because she should be, to me, being celebrated for at least speaking out against what she feels is the right thing to do. And it's clear that the messages aren't being heard, and I just think it's a bad situation all around.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. And here's the weird thing. Would you ever hear LeBron ever speak out against Commissioner Silver?
No,
Or I'm trying to think of big names across all the different sports. Um, like a Tom Brady. Would you ever hear a Tom Brady when he was still playing go out against Roger Goodell and just totally beat the crap out of him in the media?
no.
My point is, this is a first in professional sports that you see one of your biggest stars call the commissioner out in that way.
Well, it actually did happen in the UFC 20 years ago when
Well,
Tito Ortiz called out Dana White over contract disputes. That was a big that was a pretty big deal at the time because he was
right,
champion and stuff.
but I would say Dana's used to that on a daily basis,
Oh, for
getting
sure.
getting a flack from the fighters. But I'm talking about from like a large entity, professional league.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah. You don't see that.
so, this is going to be a bad situation. The deadline comes up. Uh, so when this show airs, there's going to be 23 days.
Until the CBA deadline hits.
And ironically, it's on the spookiest day of the entire year. Halloween. Ironically enough.
Which is on a Friday night, by the way.
Yes, which is on a Friday night. So that is the official deadline day, October 31st, which we're all going to be watching with anticipation. Because listen, if it doesn't get handled, there's no WNBA. There's going to be a lockout heading into next year.
Mm-hmm.
And the WNBA just made a huge deal with USA Network for 50 games a year, full network, not this BS that they do on Ion, where they take the local stuff and put it on a national network. They're talking about building like what they do for ESPN, where they have double headers and they have broadcast team calling games. So, unfortunately, if you don't have a CBA, you're not playing any games whatsoever.
No.
So, my gut is I think we might lose a season of the WNBA the way this is heading. How would you put that as a bow?
It's a pretty large one, and it's definitely a story that's going to be worth following as we continue on. That's for sure.
We're going to talk about it. If Cathy gets fired or let go, you're definitely going to hear about it on this show and a few other shows.
I think so too.
I'm going to warn you of that. And if there's a lockout, the same thing. But let's move on. Let's move to the NFL. Week 5 recap. This was a pretty ugly week in the NFL.
Yeah, pretty ugly week in terms of predictions, but a lot of exciting finishes this past weekend. Some huge upsets, which we'll get into in just a second. But I got to say, the parity of this league right now is something else. I think we've been in for an entertaining start to the year, and I think it's only going to get crazier. What do you think?
First of all, I can't believe we're through 5 weeks of the season already. 5 weeks, just like that. Like, it's unbelievable. And so we're going to officially be, by next week, we're going to be a third of the way through the season at this point, which is crazy. But just looking at the way this league is, like you said, there's a lot of parity and then there's not a lot of parity. And you have teams, would you say there was some shockers in week 5? I mean,
pull it up. I wrote a few of them.
Yeah, I have them. Here we go. So Eagles lose. Now, am I fully shocked by that result?
Well, their winning streak was going to end at some point, right?
Yes, but I'm saying, am I fully shocked that the Broncos beat them? No, I don't think the Broncos are a slouch of a team by any means.
Either. And I think I think there was one game, I'm now blanking on what game it is. There was one game that they should have won that they didn't win. I think it might have been the Colts.
It was the Colts game because of the leverage play, which was terrible. But
so they should be a 5-1 football team or 4-1 football team.
4-1, yeah. But just looking around some of the rest of the league, obviously you have the Jets are 0-5. They're just a terrible team. I was out on them before the season, being a Jet fan. I could have told you that already, but
I just going to say, as a Bears fan, I feel bad for Justin Fields. I really do.
I mean, he hasn't looked good though since he's been in the Jet uniform either. I mean, but
they're just finding new ways to lose every single week.
Oh my
God!
God!
They're probably going to lose again. They're playing the Broncos.
Oh, they're going to get in London, by the way.
Yeah.
On the early Sunday, but just looking around the rest of the league, we could talk about the London game. Vikings, Browns, pretty much a defensive battle the whole game. Carson Wentz somehow manages to win a game in London. Somehow,
no kidding.
Somehow he survived, but the Browns have a really good defense. I think we got to admit that. Like, their defense keeps them in games, but starting Dylan Gabriel as his first game as a rookie in London,
that's rough. And he was getting hit a lot too.
Oh, because their offensive line stinks. It's awful. And he has no offensive weapons. He was pretty much out there internationally in front of the world with no help. But other games, The Colts come back into vengeance and absolutely beat the shit out of the Raiders.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show how bad the Raiders are because we already knew how good the Colts could be, but I think it just goes to show how bad the Raiders are, and that game against New England in Week 1 was a fluke because the way the Patriots are playing now, if obviously they won't rematch them again this year. I was just saying hypothetically, if they did, the Patriots would smoke them.
Yeah, I think that would be a totally different scenario. Speaking of the Colts, obviously Daniel Jones's former team, the Giants, getting embarrassed by the Saints.
Yeah, why did we fall for the? Well, why did I fall for the Giants covering? Is the question.
I I switched my pick right before the game. If you remember, I took the over. Of course, the over just missed, but that game was brutal. Like he just looked lost, Jackson Dart, didn't
Yeah,
he, during the game?
you sure did.
Like throwing interceptions, causing fumbles.
Well, I mean, you also have to remember he's barely played in the league, so it's like, of course he's going to struggle.
Yeah, but you can't lose to the Saints. You
Yeah,
can't.
I know. But
Um,
I think it just goes to show how weird the NFC South is because the Panthers beat Miami. So I don't know.
well, we'll get
I,
there because I have a lot of thoughts about that game too. But that game was bad, and then obviously the other team in New York that can't, as you said a few seconds ago, find new creative ways to lose games. You would think the Cowboys would be beatable the way they're playing, right?
and the Jets had a chance to win. They couldn't do it.
I mean, if you're going to give up 20 in the second quarter, though, you're not winning anything.
That's true.
But the Jets are, in my opinion, like, I don't think Aaron Glenn is going to be long for New York. I just don't.
I don't think so either. I don't know. Do you think they fired him mid-season?
No. I think it, I think they're going to see where the record progresses. If they go, first of all, I don't think they'll go 0-17. They're going to win a game at some point, but
You think they could go? You think they could go 4-13?
no, I'm not even that confident. Like maybe they get 2 or 3 wins, maybe because their schedule gets harder, not easier. I'm going to look that up briefly, really fast. Okay, so they go to London to play Denver. Okay, then they play Carolina. But Carolina just beat Miami. Like,
Yeah, Carolina might be like semi decent, not great. They're still learning how to win, but now they're starting to win.
but they're not just gonna roll over for the Jets to win.
No,
Like,
no, no. That'll be a game.
um, then they're at the Bengals. Now, even without Joe Burrow, I still think the Bengals could beat the Jets.
I do too. And with the way they were scoring on Detroit near the end of the game in garbage time, you never know.
Then
So
they play Cleveland. Is that a winnable game? Yeah, it's a winnable game. Are they gonna win it? I don't think so.
where's the game at?
It's at home.
Okay.
Then they go to New England. I think they're absolutely losing that game.
Oh, they'll lose by. I'm going to say right now they'll lose by 5 or 6 touchdowns. I would
You
say
think so?
I think the version of New England that played last night is a pretty good team.
Um,
Actually, I'm sorry. The version of New England that played a couple of nights ago, rather is a pretty
yeah.
good team.
Then they go to Baltimore. Now Lamar will obviously be back by that point, so
Is
they're
this
going to lose.
in is
They're
this
going to
in,
lose that.
is this in December now?
This is November, right?
Oh, okay.
Right before Thanksgiving.
This is a brutal stretch in November. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, New England, Baltimore, Atlanta at home.
I don't know. Maybe Atlanta isn't very good, so maybe they win that.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
they have some. They have Bijan. They have and they have some pretty decent wide receiver options. Then they have Miami at home, at Jacksonville, at New Orleans, and then they finish the season New England and Buffalo.
Oh,
So
that's rough.
if they win 2 or 3 games, I think the ceiling at this point.
I think
Um,
so too, and I think it just goes to show how whacked out the AFC East is because the game we haven't gotten to yet, the Bills losing to New England. When's the last time you saw New England go into Buffalo and win. It's been years.
New England just looked like a different version of themselves on Sunday night.
I think so too. I think they're figuring it out, and I think they realize that Drake May has a chance to be pretty good.
Buffalo scared me the other night as well. Like, just it. I'm concerned about their offense a little bit.
Hey, your New England wild card pick is looking really good right now after the other night.
I totally forgot, but yeah, I did pick them as a wild card because I think they're going to win more games than people realize. So,
Well, hey, who knows? The AFC East, with how bad it's looking on one side, the rematch in Foxborough could determine who wins the division if the Bills keep playing inconsistently.
that's a good point.
You never. Oh, it could be. You never know. It could even be a scenario where the winner's in the playoffs and the loser's out.
Oh man, that would be crazy. Some other games as well. Obviously, Broncos Eagles, which we started to talk about a little bit. The Eagles,
Their clock management was not great.
it's atrocious. Their clock management. I mean, I think they missed a penalty in that game too, towards the end of it. But it is what it is. I mean, was that the game where they missed the penalty right by the end zone on
Yes,
the pass interference,
and
possibly?
it should have been. And it should have been a flag. I'm not saying that the Eagles. I'm not saying that the Eagles were screwed, but it definitely determined part of the outcome of the game because Nick, I'm just going to be honest with you. Even if they make that call on the pass
Who knows if
interference,
they even score the touchdown
no,
anyway?
right. That's my overall point. And Denver's defense was playing lights out, and they were frustrating Hurts and stuff. So it's no guarantee that the Eagles would have won.
Right. But I'm saying that would have put them right, like in red zone territory if that flag was thrown. But
Mhm. Which did you think it was interference? Because
I,
I
I
did.
I thought it was pass interference, like obvious pass interference, like that they just missed badly. I thought it would have at least been a holding penalty or something. Like,
Right. It should have just been an automatic first down regardless. But nonetheless, though,
yeah.
the Eagles should have never been in that position to begin with. So
Right.
there's
Now
that too.
they're
And
still 4-1.
I think it was a hard fought win on the road for a
Well,
team that a lot of people are not really giving respect to at the
yeah, the
moment.
other issue, Saquon only had 6 carries the whole game.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's bad. Like when the ball is not going through Saquon, that's disaster. And one of the plays, he caught a receiving touchdown in this game, didn't he?
And you sure did.
Which was like someone blew a coverage and he was like, wide open. But I don't know.
Wide
The Eagles,
open in the corner.
yeah, the Eagles look bad. The game that I think we really got to discuss, and you would think we'd never discuss this game, is Dolphins Panthers. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Dolphins were up 17-0 in the second quarter.
Yeah.
And the
Then
Panthers,
it was just an avalanche by Bryce Young and company.
and then I think there was a few roughing the passer penalties in there, which forced them to move up the field faster. But holy crap. Like, Mike McDaniel needs to be shown the door.
Yeah, I think he's about done. I think he's becoming a shell. I'm going to say it like this: a shell of his former genius, which he's clearly not anymore.
Like, can we stop with the McGenius nickname already? Because he's looked so bad the last 2 seasons that it's abomination territory.
He's more of like Mick Repeat, Mick Rinse and Repeat than anything
Yes.
than anything else.
But I don't know. McDaniels, I think, is going to be done. And I think, forgetting that, Greer, I think, is the GM there.
Yeah.
He's going to get fired too.
He's doing his best. Well, this is kind of disrespectful because he wasn't a very good coach, but he's doing his best Rich Kotite impersonation right now.
Oh man.
You didn't think that reference would come out.
That's
tonight,
an
did you?
oldie but goodie reference right there.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of embarrassment, down in M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, the Texans.
Yeah, I was wrong there. I thought Baltimore being at home even without Lamar would still do it, and Houston got a huge road win.
I don't think you took a spread there, though. I think you took a over/under in that game.
Oh,
I think
did I win that or lose that?
I'm gonna look, but that game, first of all, for the Texans to go into Baltimore and put up 44 points,
You're just saying no Lamar or not is a big deal, right?
yes, but I'm saying just to put up 44 points on the road in Baltimore, of all places. Like, did you expect that?
No.
That's what
I figured it'd be close, but I didn't think they'd score 44 and control the whole game.
actually you and Grant both had under 40.5 in that game.
Yeah, that's rough. We didn't do very well.
Did anyone expect the Texans to fully cover the number total
No,
by themselves?
no. And it's only 1.5, right?
I have it up right here. It was Texans minus 1.5.
Yeah.
But holy cow! Like, if wait until they get Mixon back in the mix there.
Yeah, the AFC South is gonna get interesting. Those
When
Texans Colts games are gonna be fun. I'll tell
they
you.
that might be. Hey, if you want to flex a game, NFL, put that game in somewhere in prime time.
That'd be fun.
Let's see. Other games. Obviously, we started to talk about Titans Cardinals. Talk about a massive collapse by the
Huge
Cardinals.
collapse. Can you believe it? A fumble turns into a touchdown.
Well, so a fumble and then a reverse turnover, I call it,
Unbelievable.
into the end zone. Titans land on it. I mean, 16 unanswered in the fourth quarter by the Titans. And that also involved a missed extra point by the Titans earlier in the fourth quarter.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
I thought that was going to be the worst game of the week, and that was the best finish of the week, 1,000%. That was it.
I thought that was going to be a rout by the Cardinals, the way that game was supposed to be.
Yeah, imagine all the people in Survivor that are out now because of that.
I'm wondering how many people actually picked that game as their survivor pick, because it was like that game had ugly written all over it. And I guess people were not expecting that. Lions, Bengals, again, no Joe Burrow. They're not going to win any games. I think it's just as simple as that. Or
I think
no?
so too.
Is there anything you can add to that game? I think the Lions just look better.
They did, and if it wasn't for Jamar Chase, they don't score in garbage time. So I think that answers that.
Yeah, I agree. And then, of course, the game that I had as the lock of the week and I got completely embarrassed by was Commanders Chargers. Commanders scored 27 points. I don't know what's going on with the Chargers now, but they just look slow and out of pace.
Yeah, that definitely was not a smart lock by you. At the time that we're recording this, my lock is still alive because there's a game to be played tonight. So I'm feeling pretty good about where I sit. But yeah, it was not a good performance by the Chargers at home. I understand the Commanders got Jaden Daniels back, and I knew they were going to play better. I didn't think they would beat the Chargers in the way that they did, though. That was a big surprise.
I don't know. I'm concerned about the Chargers now, the way they've played the past couple weeks, but we'll see what happens. And then obviously we had the Sunday night game, Patriots Bills. Like we said, there was no way in hell I thought the Patriots were going to win. No way. I think we all thought the Bills were going to win, right?
Yes.
That was your lock, right?
No, it was the well, no, I thought I had the Chiefs.
No,
My luck.
no. I remember you locked the Bills,
Oh my god, I got burned too. Okay.
but there's no way we thought the Patriots were going to win, right? At all.
No.
Stephon Diggs.
Oh, that's right, because I went crazy about the white jerseys.
Yes.
And I said there's no way the Bills lose in those uniforms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what you said.
yeah.
But
And I called it the lock of the year, and then I just got totally exposed.
but Stephon Diggs in his revenge game, have a game, why don't you? I mean,
Yeah, no kidding.
but that's kind of the week in the NFL. And obviously, as we're recording this now, Monday Night Football is happening the night that we're recording. So obviously, we don't have a result for that currently, so you just have to wait on the Chiefs Jaguars. But let's move on. We'll stay in the NFL a little bit more here. Obviously, the Mark Sanchez incident. What did you make of that?
Very, very shocking, sad, disappointing, and yeah, by the way, the banner looks better now. I was trying to emphasize it a little bit, but I guess that works too. So anyway, with that said, very, very disappointing. Bad look for him, obviously, from a legal standpoint. Horrible look for Fox, as he was one of their main culprits in the commentary booth as well. And just overall, just super, super disappointing. I don't know what it's related to or whatever. Hopefully, it's not anything. I don't know what would have triggered that for him to do that
Well,
and
do you
commit
know what
that.
happened or no?
Yeah, I mean, it was essentially, in so many words, it was a really, really bad stabbing incident, and it started off as very weird, as you kind of alluded to, and then it got even more bizarre afterward.
Well, people thought that he had just gotten stabbed somewhere, like, and that he got caught by something or whatever out of the blue. Well, apparently he was driving a car, which, by the way, by himself, not even by the Fox team or by security or anything. And he got involved with a 69-year-old man who was doing some kind of either delivery or something. And I'm trying to find the full information. A police affidavit alleges that Sanchez, smelling of alcohol, uh, accosted a 69-year-old truck driver who backed into a hotel's loading docks, leading the confrontation outside the vehicle that prompted the driver to pull out a knife to defend himself. Sanchez was hospitalized with stab wounds to his upper right torso. Um, the driver had a cut to his left cheek. This is bad. This is not good. I think he's going to get fired from Fox from this.
They're saying he might even get jail time too.
Okay, but you know what my response is going to be to that, right?
Well, no, obviously he's gonna light her up, and it's probably not gonna happen,
He's
right?
a former NFL athlete. He's a broadcaster. So when they say, "Oh, well, the charges stemming could be 1 to 6 years in prison," come on now. He's a former athlete. He's not doing any jail time
No, I don't think so either.
unless he murdered the person he was dealing with.
Right, which he didn't.
No, he didn't. But unless he did like severe physical damage to somebody, like he's not doing any jail time. I think he's going to lose his job at Fox. I think that's a given. But I don't know. Do you think he's going to get fired?
I think he's gonna get suspended. I don't think he's gonna get fired.
Do you think it's
I
fireable?
think yes, but I think he's gonna get suspended without pay.
He actually was doing a really good job in the booth too.
Yeah, he was.
Like he wasn't the best with the Jets, and he wasn't a great quarterback. I mean, obviously, I remember. This is going to sound straight. I remember him more from the USC days, like being a really good quarterback.
Oh, did you watch him at USC or no?
A little bit, yeah. Like he actually was a decent quarterback in college, but
Sure was.
now, I mean, in the NFL, he was like a nothing. And now I know with Rex Ryan, he made back-to-back AFC title games. I think that was 2010, 2011, I think. But,
No, 09-10.
or was it 09-10? Okay. And
Because 2011 was the year of the butt fumble.
which he never recovered from, to be
Right.
honest.
Right.
But I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's a bad situation. First of all, why are you out causing fights with people?
And why are you doing it the night before you're supposed to call a game too?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Now, I think now I can't confirm because I don't know, but they said like his way of coping. Apparently, he was at a bar drinking before this whole thing happened, and they were saying like drinking is his coping mechanism.
Oh,
Could
really? Okay.
could this be another CTE situation?
I wouldn't be surprised
Because people have
because you know
CTE.
because you know how most of these incidents start. It starts because of drugs or alcohol
Right.
based on the CTE cases that are known. And I'm not trying to call anybody out specifically. I just know that from certain ones, it usually starts because of that.
Because they specifically use the word coping mechanism for his drinking. So
Mhm.
it makes me wonder if that's what he's doing, if he possibly has a CTE situation of some sort. And CTE does weird things to your brain, we know. So I don't know. We'll keep you up to date with that situation. I saw you put this in here. Did you want to talk about this also?
Yeah, so apparently Bill Belichick has told North Carolina staffers to not post anything about Drake May.
He's making his situation worse, by the way. Bill Belichick.
And they got pounded on Saturday by Clemson.
They're getting embarrassed, like to the point where I could see
It's so bad that the stadium was empty
empty.
after a quarter.
Did you see the viral interview during the game that they
Yeah,
ran of the college student saying like that she thinks this is so bad, like it's worse than me failing midterms?
yeah. It says this it's the saddest she's ever been as a student.
And I was like, "Oh my god, that like, what?" Like,
And then Mac Brown, who you know is the former
yes,
coach of UNC, decides to troll the Patriots by congratulating his former quarterback on the game the other night, which I actually thought was a classic Mac Brown move. I thought it was funny.
that was funny actually. Um, Belichick's career is ending up in the toilet. Like, I don't know what he can't save face anymore at this point.
No, he can't.
At this point, he should just go back to doing media and just walk away from coaching.
Or just straight up walk away and do nothing.
But I'm saying,
Literally.
no, but I'm saying he actually was fairly good at doing the media stuff.
No, he was, but who would want him? I mean, who would want him after what he's done at the collegiate level so far? I don't know what other value he would he put this on himself.
No, but you don't think media companies would come calling back and saying they want Bill? Like they would.
Probably.
I agree with you. His coaching days are numbered, if not over.
Oh, they're done. There's
If I'm the boosters
I mean,
at
can we just briefly for a second look at North Carolina in his schedule because I don't even know if I could find another win on their remaining schedule.
I mean, I can look it up really quick, but if I'm the boosters at North Carolina,
I'm livid. If I'm a booster, I'm canceling my season tickets. I'm livid.
I,
I'm absolutely livid.
I didn't even mean from that standpoint. I meant from a booster standpoint. Here, I have the schedule here. All right, let me scroll down. Okay, so they lost to Clemson, and that was an ESPN game too. So ESPN was probably livid how bad that game was.
So what are they now? 1-4?
Yes, I think they're 1-4 because they beat Richmond.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
So they play California.
they'll
They play
they'll they'll lose that. Cal's a good team,
then they play Virginia.
and Virginia just upset Florida State, and they've now won 2 in a row. So they'll probably lose that.
Then they play Syracuse on Halloween
Where's the game at?
at Syracuse.
Yeah, they'll probably lose to Syracuse too.
Then they play Stanford,
They might win that. Stanford is very okay.
Wake Forest,
They'll probably lose that too.
Duke,
They'll probably lose to Duke also.
NC State.
Uh, Depends on if NC State's fully healthy. Right now, I'd say NC State probably wins.
That's the last game I see that they have listed right now.
Yeah, that's rough. So you're staring down the barrel at a 1-11 season.
I'm going to tell you right now, if that happens, they need to kick his ass to the curb and not look back if they go 1-11.
Before the season is over or after?
No,
Do you think they could fire him mid-season? It would only cost them $1 million to do it.
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. He's going to get fired at some point, whether it's during the season or if it's after the season. If they want to save face, I guess at that point, He's going to get fired. It's just a matter of when. The boosters are not going to stand for this. They're not.
No, they won't. I mean, I'm just going to say this from an Illinois perspective. This tops when Illinois hired Lovie Smith. This is making the Lovie Smith hire at Illinois in 2016 look like it was a good hire.
Good Lord.
That's how bad this Belichick situation is becoming. Again,
Well,
it's the same story. They hired a name who can't recruit. It's simple as that. That's exactly what Illinois did, and that's the mistake that the AD at Illinois and all the administrators realized, which is why they needed to clean house, and they hired a college coach in Bielema, and look at how that's working out for Illinois right now. North Carolina needs to do something similar.
well, we'll see what happens.
Hey fans, Novig is here to change the way you play. Available in 35 states, including California, Texas, Florida, and New York, Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market, and it's 10 times more profitable than traditional sports books because there's no house edge. Instead, you're betting directly against other sports fans just like yourself. Novig is also the only free exchange, which means you keep every dollar you win, whether you're putting plays down on the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, college sports, or even UFC and tennis. Novig gives you the power to pick the best odds, or better yet, set your own. Sign up today with the code ETB Network, and you'll get 1,000 Novig coins plus $5 in Novig cash, and special bonus offers like spending $5 and getting $50 back. Novig, where fans play smarter. You must be 21 years or older to play. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Empty the Bench is presented by Playback. Watching sports is more fun with others, but we spend too much of our time watching alone. Playback is a virtual space where communities can stream live sports together with everyone perfectly synced up. Creators can hop on stage, deliver their own play-by-play analysis and commentary, and invite viewers up for Q&A. Playback makes watching sports fully interactive and a social experience. From playing fantasy sports, repping your favorite players and teams, and watching with the commentators and communities you care about. Win or lose, sports are best enjoyed together. Join our community by going to playback.tv/ETB network to find out more, including our live stream schedule. And now back to the show. Time to move on to Thursday Night Football, the first ETB Sports Odds presented by Novig. Make sure you check us out over there. We've had a lot of great plays and a lot of stuff on there.
I actually had an undefeated week on the college football and UFC side. We won all of our plays.
That's great. So you have to update everybody on that later on. But let's get into Thursday Night Football, Week 6, Eagles, -7.5 favorite at the Giants. This has stinker written all over it, in my opinion. What do you have here?
I'm not going to touch the spread. I like a total, and I like the over in the game. I think 41.5 is too low.
I mean, I'm frustrated because when I did the Giants-Saints game, I thought that was going to be an over, and that missed by 1 point. Eagles, different scenario. They're going to score. Giants will score. I don't like the hook. The hook actually bothers me in this game a little bit here. So I'm with you. I'm not going to touch the spread. I'd probably take the over 41.5.
If the Eagles had won Sunday, I would be backing the Eagles, but they didn't win.
I don't know if the win or loss really comes into play as much here, but I don't know. The Eagles are kind of scaring me the way their offense kind of ran this past week, but the Giants could cover this in a back ender because of that hook. So I'm going to say over 41.5.
Okay, so we both agree there. Again, we lost on the Rams 49ers pick, so we hope to do better this week.
I hope so. All right. College football week 6. Let's recap a little. James Franklin has some explaining to do.
Yeah, he sure does. It's the first time in 40 years that Penn State has lost a game to an unranked team.
They just haven't looked good so far this year.
No, they haven't, and they've yet to beat a single Power 4 opponent.
How do you expect to make the CFP if you're not going to beat a Power 14?
The answer is that you won't. The only way that Penn State can make the CFP now is if they beat Ohio State, which they're clearly not going to do.
They're not going to beat Ohio State. Ohio State is the best team in college football.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you doing that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you're doing that. Is there any logical way you could see them winning that game at all?
As if the only way is if Julian saying Ohio State's quarterback gets injured before then.
That's not happening. At least I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
And then also you have Texas and but they lost their game too, right?
So Florida.
And Arch Manning did not look good again in this game.
No, he didn't. I think he's been way overhyped. I thought the Heisman talk before the season was
ridiculous,
crazy because he had barely played, and now Texas is feeling it.
I don't know what they're going to do, but they might miss the CFP.
Yeah, I mean that's now 2 losses. They can't afford to lose another game.
And I think they're going to lose another game somewhere.
I mean, what do they have left just briefly? Because I can tell you if I think they'll lose one more, because they probably will.
All right, let's look up the Longhorns schedule. Okay. So let's look up. Their next game is Oklahoma.
Where's the game at?
In Texas.
Yeah, actually, they'll probably end up losing that one too because Oklahoma's played good football, and Oklahoma is off a convincing win against a non-conference team from this past week.
Then they play Kentucky in Kentucky.
Yeah, they'll win that.
Mississippi State at Mississippi.
They'll beat Mississippi State.
Vanderbilt at home.
They'll beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was exposed last week by Alabama, so they should win that.
And then a huge matchup against Georgia.
They'll lose to Georgia. So there's 4 losses potentially on the table.
Then they have Arkansas.
They'll beat Arkansas.
And Texas A&M.
They'll beat A&M. So I think it's an 8-4 team at this point.
But that would be death, according to the amount of losses, right?
That's correct. They'd be completely out of the picture. Yep. Which
is probably bad because of all the expectations of what Arch Manning was supposed to be.
That's
has
correct,
not gotten there.
Which means that there's no way. I think if they go 8-4, there's no way he's entering the draft. No way.
I just don't think he's ready for the NFL. I mean, he can't even make the throws right now currently in college.
Nope, he's not. I don't think he's ready either.
But I don't know. Interesting in the week 6 recap. Oh, well, let's talk about your team also. Before you get to this matchup, 2 pretty big wins, USC, Purdue, kind of rallying the carts a little bit here.
Yeah, after losing by 53 to Indiana, you couldn't have asked for 2 better wins.
I mean, it took a field goal at the very end of the USC game, but they won, which is what matters.
Yeah.
They were a dog in that game too, right?
6.5-point dog. They were up by multiple scores, and Makai Lemon, USC star wide receiver, caught 2 insane passes from Jaden Mayava to put USC ahead. And then, of course, Illinois ran the 2-minute drill and won the game. And then last week, or this past Saturday, it was Luke Altmaier's near perfect day that led Illinois to a huge win by multiple scores, 43-27. The Illinois defense is still very suspect at the moment with who's still out, but Luke Altmaier essentially at this point is carrying Illinois right now. He's the reason why they are what they are at this point. So
I mean, it's very odd
when you have a good quarterback, it helps. So
they officially move 5 spots up the AP. I have the AP top 25 up here too. So they go from 22 to 17. Obviously a huge matchup against number 1 Ohio State. Big noon kickoff game on Saturday.
Second time in 3 weeks it's back in Champaign. So it's pretty crazy.
Putting your bias aside, how do you see this game really reflecting?
It'll be a good game. Unfortunately, though, with how banged up Illinois' pass defense is, they'll have to get into a track meet, and they'll have to hope they can get at least 1 turnover off of Julian Zain. And if they can't, I think Ohio State wins by a couple of scores, unfortunately.
So
And I think the early spread on the game, which is double digits, I can't remember the exact number, but it's a multiple touchdown spread. I think is correct.
do you think that's fair? Or
I do. Yeah, I mean you got Jeremiah Smith, who's the best receiver in the country. You have a really good defense. Ohio State can run the ball well. Zain's played well. They put up 42 against Minnesota the other night, and they've been putting up 40 plus points a game, which means that Illinois is going to have to go score for score, possession for possession to have any hope to pull off a huge upset. And it would be the first time that Illinois has knocked off number one at home in several decades if they were to win. And the last time that Illinois played Ohio State, this is my one fun fact. I don't think it'll come to fruition, but the last time Ohio State was number one and Illinois played them was all the way back in 07 in Columbus, and Illinois won. So I'm not saying that they will win. They can win. I just don't think they will. My way too early prediction on the game, which could change by the time I record my own show, but right now my way too early pick is Ohio State 45, Illinois 28.
oh wow, so you think it's going to be a high scoring
Mhm.
affair?
I do. I do.
No defense.
No, I don't think so. I mean, that's been besides the Duke game, which Illinois went down to Durham and dominated them defensively with 5 takeaways. The defense has been non-existent, and I see the defense being non-existent again. This week, what do you think? Do you think Illinois has any shot, or do you think Ohio State wins?
Ohio State's a powerhouse, at least just from Jeremiah Smith, like you said, number one wide receiver in the country. I just think offensively they're going to be too much, and like you said, the Illinois defensive injuries hurt.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you don't have defense, it doesn't matter how much offense you put up, right? I mean,
Nope.
so
So the biggest key, though, and then we'll move away from this. Biggest key so far for Illinois this season has been time of possession. When it's over 16 minutes a game, Illinois is undefeated, and it's under 16 minutes a game. It's a lone loss against Indiana. They got smoked. So time of possession is going to be a big key in this game for Bielema's offense to have the ball as much as possible. So
all right, we'll see what happens.
as long as they can keep Ohio State's offense off the field, it could get very, very interesting. I'll say that. So,
all right, let's move ahead a little bit here. I want to get to this because you and I were talking about it. So
sure, I'm just gonna let you rant. So I'm gonna hit back and kind of let you go, and then I'll react when you're done.
well, so you and I were discussing this a lot about the AP poll and the rankings and all this stuff. And I think we're getting away from what professional sports or college sports is supposed to be about. And last time I checked, you're supposed to win games or you lose games. I've never understood why you rank losses based on what the opponent is, or whether it's a huge opponent, whether it's a weak opponent. The idea is you're supposed to go out and win as many games as you possibly can.
So for example, I'm sure you think it's preposterous that Illinois is ranked below Notre Dame when Illinois has a better record.
Well, yeah,
Right.
you beat me right to the statement I was going to make. Actually, that how can Notre Dame, because I'm looking at the AP poll, where are they listed? They are 16 currently.
Which is one spot above Illinois.
And look at the records, for crying out loud. Illinois is 5-1 and Notre Dame is 3-2. You're telling me that Notre Dame at 3-2 with 2 less wins is a better team than Illinois?
It's pretty crazy, isn't it?
And I'm looking at all the teams. Notre Dame being 3-2. Illinois is 5-1. BYU's 5-0. Virginia's 5-1. Vanderbilt's 5-1. Arizona State's 4-1. Ohio State's 5-1. Memphis is 6-0. South Florida's 4-1. So from 17 to 24, they either have no losses or 1 loss. And they're below Notre Dame that has 2 losses. Explain that one to me because I don't understand it.
It's brand bias is what it is.
Because in any other sport, the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, Major League Baseball, do you ever see them say, oh, well, this loss was against this team, so we're going to rank the loss as more difficult than a loss against the Chicago White Sox?
No, it never happens.
That's why I'm
The
begging.
the standings are the standings. And
This is why I'm begging and pleading to the college football committee. If anyone ever were to hear this, stop ranking wins and losses, please. It does. Tell me what that means. What does that mean to a fan who's trying to figure out what the best team in the NFL, in the college football in country is? And if you try to explain to them, Notre Dame is 3-2, and they're above teams that are 5-0, 6-0, 4-1, you're basically explaining to a young kid or a fan of that's trying to get into college football that more losses is more valuable than more wins.
Yeah, that better losses is more valuable than just winning the games you're supposed to win.
How are you supposed to motivate kids who are trying to pick up the game of football, and you're telling them two losses is more important than being undefeated?
It's a good question.
It goes back to that argument, or not argument, the debate and discussion we had about, and I keep forgetting, so you're going to have to remind me, the team that missed the CFP last year that went undefeated.
Florida State. It was 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago. Because they had the injury at their quarterback position, right?
Yes.
I don't understand how an undefeated team can miss the CFP. Can you?
Most people can't. Well, I gave you the reason, and the reason is more political than anything, but based on records alone, they should have probably made it.
And the other issue I have is, why are we doing these rankings so early on in the season? Who cares what the number one team in the country is now?
Well, I'm going to counter you and say the AP rankings aren't applied when the CFP committee starts ranking them in November.
No. But my point is, why do we care about what the rankings are now? What does that accomplish?
Most people don't.
Because, and Nick D makes a great argument about this on the March Madness side, like when they do the rankings for the tournament, the rankings are just a number. That's it. The rankings don't give you an advantage in any way. Like, they don't. Like, so with Illinois being 17, does that give you an advantage for anything going into this week? It doesn't.
Well, it's more of a disadvantage than anything because, unfortunately, because the AP voters are who they are without calling anybody out, probably an Illinois loss means they're either number 24, 25 or out, which is ridiculous.
No. That's not my... I get the point you're making, but I'm saying is, does being ranked wherever you are, does it help you for the week that you're going to play Ohio State? The ranking means nothing.
Yeah, you're just playing another game.
And that's the point. Like, the rankings mean shit, in my opinion. They mean nothing until you get to the actual, what is it, November?
Yeah, first full week in November is when they do it.
That's when the rankings should officially start, not now. They mean nothing now.
I think most people would agree.
Because you know what it is? The reason the rankings are done at the beginning of the season, this is just my hunch, is the TV networks need something to talk about.
Probably.
Because if you had no rankings, what would the TV networks have to complain about? Nothing. Like, would you hear College Game Day or SEC Network or ACC Network or so on and so forth? If they didn't have rankings, what would they would have nothing to say, oh, well, this team stinks because they're at the bottom of the top 25. They have nothing to complain about then. So I think the rankings are purely a TV play.
Interesting. Okay.
Until you get to the CFP ranks.
Right.
Because the CFP ranks, they matter because that's how they determine where you are once you get to the playoff.
Right.
But what is Illinois at 17 now? Does that tell you anything?
It tells me that they're 5 spots away from maybe making the playoff, but that's really it. That's all it tells me.
But I'm saying at this point in time, because the rankings for the playoff don't start until another month from now. So, in my opinion, it means nothing currently.
Yeah, it means nothing. What should be put on more emphasis is record and who you played, not what number you are.
Exactly. Thank you. Most people are not saying that. Like Memphis and I think it was Memphis and BYU are undefeated. Yeah. So they should be at the top of this list. You're telling me an undefeated team doesn't matter?
No kidding, you're right.
I want to know who's on this college football committee that's making these decisions because they sit in a room drinking beer all night. Probably not, but just my point of exaggeration. They're either drinking beer or sitting back and watching movies, and they just decide, okay, this is the team I want in this ranking. Like, like Will sent me, or I saw it in the chat that supposedly that voter was at it again with messing up her rankings.
Yeah, she did it again.
And that's the other issue I have too. I don't know if these voters are qualified to vote on this.
It takes 10 seconds to look up all the scores. Last I checked. I mean, I don't know why it's so hard. I mean, I don't know.
If I had to take a guess right now, I'm going to say more than 50% of the people on the AP poll are not qualified to vote on that.
You're probably right.
And like you said, how hard is it to go look up the scores or look up how the game transpired?
Or look up last week's rankings. See, this would be my strategy if I was voting. I'd look up last week's rankings, see where everybody was the week before, look at next week's slate, then go back and see, okay, how many of these teams have played each other head to head in these rankings? So I know that if a team owns a tiebreaker over another team, that they should be ranked ahead of them. That's how I would do it.
It's pretty, and also
it's pretty simple.
Another thing you and I have discussed too. They need to do a better job of selecting people who vote on this. Because there's a lot of people where they cover teams that are being allowed to vote on this. Do you know what I'm getting at? Like,
because what they should be worried about from a pollster's standpoint is being unbiased, and some of them aren't doing it.
And that's what I'm getting at. Like, they got on you because you said you tried to get in on the vote, right? And they gave you a hard time because of what? Because you have tickets with Illinois and all that stuff. But first of all, I don't think that's bias. I think that's just you wanting to see games. But that's an argument or a debate for another day. But some of the people they choose, you wonder how they got picked or what. I don't know what the selection process is to become a AP poll voter.
I don't fully get it. I don't fully understand it myself.
The sad and pathetic part is,
because there are some people on there that are fully qualified, 100% where you should trust their ballot, and there are some other people where you're like, I don't know who you are. You know what I mean?
There was a story, and I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was Heather Dinage. Did you see she went absolute scorched earth on the AP poll?
Yeah.
I forgot which team she was complaining about. Was it Florida or
probably, she was probably Florida State, I would think.
It was Florida State. Like, she went scorched earth and called the AP poll for this week like complete garbage. Which I was like, whoa. And like but she's one of the more respected voices in the college football scene.
Right. It would be the same thing if Brett McMurphy said something or Nicole Auerbach said something. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I don't trust Brett a little bit at times, but yeah, her and Nicole Auerbach are two of the best that we have in this sport, covering the sport.
Right.
I would trust them over this woman voter, which the three of you on FB5 literally ripped a new one over.
Haley Sawyer was her name.
And by the way, it was no accident that her social media went completely private afterwards and disappeared.
No, I don't think so either. I now never even hear what she's up to because there's no way to know.
But the last thing I'll say on this is the sad and pathetic part. They could put me on that voting poll, and I could probably do a better job than half the people on there.
So I'm curious. Illinois was I'm just curious. Illinois was number 17 going into this week. Given who they've played already and who they beat, do you think number 17 was justified, or do you think they should be ranked higher?
So the way I would look at it is I would look above where they are
Okay.
and who lost. That's how I would look.
Okay.
And so help me out here as I go through the teams.
Okay.
Okay, so what was the result in Notre Dame? Because I didn't see.
Notre Dame won.
Okay. Michigan at 15.
Michigan beat Wisconsin.
Okay. Missouri. Well, they won because they're undefeated.
Mhm.
Georgia Tech won. Tennessee.
I don't know if they played. A good question.
Okay. LSU.
I'm pretty sure. Let's look here. Hang on. Tennessee this past week. Actually, they were idle. They didn't have a game.
Okay. So we won't touch that one. LSU.
And then you asked about Georgia.
Yeah.
Georgia beat Kentucky 35-14. And then
Okay.
you asked about LSU, right?
Yeah.
And then LSU, they were idle this past week. They didn't have a game.
Okay. Well, Georgia Tech's undefeated. I mean, Texas Tech, is undefeated. Alabama, I think they won also, right?
Vanderbilt, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Indiana won, right? Yeah, they're undefeated. Oh, everybody else is undefeated in the top 7.
Indiana didn't play this past week, but yeah, they're still undefeated.
So I obviously, if I'm voting, I'm not touching the undefeateds. For the first time, they got the first 7 right because they're undefeated.
Mm-hmm. But you agree Illinois should be ranked ahead of Notre Dame, though, right?
Yeah, because they're playing better. The way they won their last 2 games. I mean, first of all, you beat USC and you were a complete dog.
Mm-hmm.
Completely. You tell me that doesn't deserve more than 5 spots?
I think it does.
So, in the long run, here's what I'm saying to the college football committee. If anyone is watching, put me on the ballot and let me vote, and I will do a better job than half the ballot that's going on. Half the people that are on the ballot. I could do better than Haley Sawyer, for crying out loud.
I think based on your argument, I think you probably could. And if they would ever change the rules to let me on the ballot, I think I could do a better job too.
All right, let's move on because we're getting a little bit overs here.
Okay.
Let's talk about Paul Finebaum. Okay. So obviously he made headlines.
This guy's being a goofball again. I don't know what Okay, I'm just gonna say this. If he really wants to get into politics, he should just retire from covering the sport. It's as simple as that.
If he wants politics, he can't cover the sport. That's just plain and simple. That's it. Like,
right.
Unless you're President Stephen A. Smith, but that's a whole different issue.
Which, by the way, people were enraged on social media about that.
I think more people, and there's a report going around. And by the way, I need to call out Awful Announcing again because they completely botched the headline that they wrote about what's happening between Paul Finebaum and ESPN.
What did they say? Or what was that one?
So it says Paul Finebaum reportedly banned from ESPN after touting possible Senate bid.
He wasn't banned. He was taken off the network.
Well, so it says possible Senate bid and network denies. First of all, he didn't get banned. Come on, Awful Announcing, get with it. You know what that is, right?
It's an SEO. It's an SEO ploy.
It's a clickbait.
He want you to click on it.
Of course. What did you think I did? I clicked on it, obviously. But like, he didn't get banned. ESPN basically made it clear they don't want him on shows if he's gonna do politics. But that would be hypocritical, wouldn't it? Because of Stephen A.
Yeah, which not to get too deep into this because it's a gray area, but people are saying it's a race thing, so just something to look out for.
But Finebaum also went on Clay Travis's show.
Which is kind of a red flag a little bit if you know anything about his track record.
Well, Clay Travis and ESPN have a horrid past, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
But Clay Travis tweeted out, per sources, Disney and ESPN has removed Finebaum from appearing on ESPN since his Outkick interview, which is Clay Travis's platform.
Something tells me he has to say sources to save face. But if we're being real, probably somebody from Finebaum's team told him that's what was going on. Because from what I understand, they're actually somewhat decently close based on the research I've done.
But what did he also write? Oh, the interview expressing interest in running as a Republican for Senate in Alabama. ESPN has canceled all network appearances on all shows, including some that have occurred for a decade plus. See, and then I don't know if you know Bill Hoffenheimer. He's the VP of PR at ESPN.
I do, yeah.
So he quote tweeted that tweet and said, "This is not true at all. The below is all caps, totally false." And then Clay Travis responded afterwards and said, "Bill is lying to all of you. Shame on Bill." And then he puts the full interview talking about it. But ESPN's got a problem. I don't know.
They have a big problem. Either somebody's lying or something.
Well, someone's got to give because both things can't be true in this scenario.
Right.
But I've grown tired of the shtick from Paul Finebaum a little bit at times. I've said that many times. You've heard me say it.
I'm a Big Ten guy, so I really can't stand him.
But if I'm Paul, don't do this.
No.
Don't do this. You have a decent career going. You make appearances on ESPN. Your radio show, which is also on SEC Network, does fairly well. I don't know. Like, this is a disaster waiting to happen.
I think so too.
But I don't know. Like, what is ESPN's got a PR nightmare on their hands again? What do you do? Like, do you tell Paul, like, hey, cut it out with the politics, or like, do you just say you either need to make a choice, either you stay here or you go make your political bid?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the only way to look at it, right? Because they're giving him, a flip a coin opportunity, kind of. So,
but the problem is, it's the Stephen A. Shtick all over again, because he does First Take, and then he does another sports show with Sirius, and then he does a political show. And there's nobody else at ESPN gets that opportunity except Stephen A.
Why do you think that is?
Because he's got too much power, and he can do whatever he wants.
So you think in this case, Finebaum is basically powerless?
A little bit, yeah, because...
Well, and he's only stuck to one niche. That's also another problem.
Right. So, like, Stephen A. does NBA Countdown, and he does
NFL
stuff, and other... And so... And ESPN wants Stephen A. on everything because of the reach, because he's going to say something dumb or ridiculous and it goes viral. But
Andy has a bigger following than Finebaum.
Oh, God, not even close. Stephen A. has a bigger following. But that's why they're paying him like an athlete now, $20 million a year over 5 years each.
Well, I think if Finebaum leaves, it gives Heather Dinich the opportunity to become the main college football insider on ESPN.
I think they go to her more than him anyway. At times, like, she's more. I'm trying to think of the word.
And she's more neutral. She doesn't talk about one conference more than another and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think the one excuse is because he's on SEC Network, so he's kind of stuck in that way. But Heather, I like Heather because Heather is not gonna rip you for your opinions.
No, nope.
Paul will rip you for your opinions if he doesn't agree with you.
Right.
So, I don't know. Let's see how that one plays out. I think eventually he might be gone from ESPN at some point. All right. Baseball quickly. Mariners win their first playoff game in over 2 decades.
Been
really
since
want to see
01 or 02 or something like that.
0-1. Yeah. First home game since 0-1. So,
So it's not the first playoff game, or it is?
no, it's their first home playoff win. First home playoff victory.
Can you update that?
It's fine. It falls under that correct scenario,
Oh,
technically.
okay,
It is their first playoff game in quite a while, but it's their first home win, so it works.
okay.
But they could be a really good team. Obviously, the Tigers won game 1, but if Seattle can somehow get through, I think they have a really good chance to go to the World Series. I don't know. What did you make of Seattle so far?
Yeah, they've been playing well. They've been quietly playing inspired baseball. And I just like how they're not a flashy team. I just like how they're one of those teams that goes in and takes care of business. They don't really have any super charismatic pieces. I mean, I haven't really watched them very much, but I know that they're a team that was kind of built from the ground up. And I think that it's a really cool comeback story. And the rest of the series should be interesting.
I mean, they have Cal Raleigh, who I think is going to be the MVP this year. Even though everyone keeps saying it's Aaron Judge, I think Cal Raleigh's just had an incredible year as a catcher. 60 home runs. I mean, like,
you've said it all year that he's probably going to win it.
I think so, but you're going to run into voter fatigue BS again, which I don't like it, but that's what they do. Also, Julio Rodriguez finally coming into form too. He's been a star for them. The pitching is finally coming around. Obviously, Detroit had the epic collapse, but somehow beat Cleveland in the wild card series to make it here. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I hope the Mariners get a chance and they move forward. Quickly, obviously, my Yankees are down 2-0 to the Toronto Blue Jays. Games have not been close at all.
No.
The bullpen's been a nightmare. Luke Weaver, they need to stop pitching him out of the bullpen. He's looked really bad. The Yankee offense has sputtered a little bit. I think Toronto is just a dominant team.
Yeah, they sure are. It definitely has been interesting to watch them, and I think this is kind of good news for the MLB because as someone who doesn't really like the Yankees in the way that I don't really like the Cowboys in a sense, it'd be nice to not see them make a deep run. So this is a good start, at least for me. So,
I mean, I think generally baseball focuses too much on major market and not enough on teams that deserve a chance. Like, to be honest, I said, like, if my Yankees don't make a run, I'd want to see Milwaukee, Seattle, like in the World Series. I think that, and of course, people are going to bitch and moan because it's small market, but I really don't care.
As a Cubs fan, I don't want to see that. But
What?
Anybody but the Brewers out of the NL making the World Series is fine with me as a Cubs fan. But
I just think small market, like, we had a small market NBA Finals this past year.
Oklahoma City and Indiana.
And it went 7 games. Like, it was an incredible series. Obviously, the unfortunate with Tyrese Halliburton going down early in the series, but that series was amazing. And there were some people pissed off. Well, it's not New York. It's not Los Angeles. It's like, I don't get why there's major market bias in professional sports. You should go with whoever makes the best World Series or best NBA Finals or best Super Bowl. Who cares?
Well,
right? I don't know.
And it should be the two teams that make it. There's no agenda. You know what I mean? There's no agenda about it.
I agree. Also, since you brought it up, Cubs Brewers, obviously a little bit ugly early for the Cubs, but I wouldn't say they're out of it.
No, they're not out of it. But at the time that we're recording this, game 2 tonight, it is a must win. You can't go back to Chicago down 0-2.
No. But Milwaukee is going to be a threat again.
I think so. But I'm just going to say full disclosure, I don't think the Cubs win the series. I think they lose in 5 or 6.
Yeah. Well, it's a 5-game series. So.
You're right.
So they got to win tonight. At the night of recording, they got to win this, or they're going to be up shit's creek without a paddle.
Which means I could be going to an elimination game.
Possibly, you never know. But the Brewers are a good team. I think Seattle's a good team. I just want it to be different a little bit. You don't need to see major market teams every single year. Also, Dodgers, Phillies. I was expecting a little more out of Philly, by the way.
Yeah, with the way they ended the season, especially, right?
Yeah, and I just want to look that up because I can't remember the outcome of the games, but it was okay. So the Dodgers won 5-3. There was also some history made in that series that Shohei was the game one starter and he was the leadoff hitter for the Dodgers. Also,
Which what has never happened,
it's
right?
never happened. Never happened in MLB playoff history.
That's
So
insane.
Shohei breaking barriers. Um, I think he's going to get some MVP votes. I don't think he's going to win it, but he had another incredible season. And now that he's back pitching, it's even scarier.
Yeah, I like the Dodgers out of that, as I alluded to, because you can even flip it whenever you want. But my World Series prediction is Dodgers Mariners, with the Dodgers winning it.
I don't know. I want to see Philly win this series. I still think they're going to make it a competitive series.
I'm rooting for. Well, I'm a little biased, but I'm rooting for a Phillies Cubs
Well,
and
yeah,
NLCS, because I think that would be fascinating with a lot of ex Cubs storylines on one side. If you know what I mean.
yeah. I
So,
mean, I'm going to stick with the prediction I made before the playoffs started. I think Philly finds a way to win this series somehow.
do you think it's going to be Philly Milwaukee to go to the World Series?
Yeah, actually, that's not what I said. I had Philly on one side, and I said whoever was going to play Milwaukee, I think has a better chance. Excuse me. I don't know if Milwaukee's going to come through in the end, but obviously that's changed since. So I think it's going to be Philly, Milwaukee on the NL side. Um, I think the Yankees are going to get trounced. So now that they're down 0-2 since this recording, so I think it's going to be Toronto, and I think eventually it's going to be Seattle because I think Seattle's going to come through.
Okay, so two small market AL teams to go to the World Series.
I mean, if you consider Toronto a small market, but
In my brain, well, I mean, obviously baseball is not my number one forte, but how I consider them as a small market.
you're right in some aspects. I just think Toronto is going to be tough, like very tough, and I just think they're built more offensively than Seattle. I think the pitching is a little better in Toronto than it is in Seattle.
Okay.
So I think you're going to see Toronto out of the AL side for the World Series, and
Okay.
then I had what was the other side? I had Philly and
Milwaukee
Milwaukee.
playing in the championships. But who do you have winning that?
If it gets to Philly, Milwaukee, I think Philly wins that series.
Okay.
So I think you're going to see a rematch of many years ago, Toronto and Philadelphia,
Okay.
in the World Series, and
Who's going to win that?
that would be such a great series too. I
Oh
think,
yeah, absolutely.
man, I think Philly's pitching is better, but I think no. Let me take that back. I think Toronto's pitching is better, but I think the offenses are even. If that's the way that goes. So I
Okay.
could see that going like 6-7 games, and I think Toronto gets back to the top of the mountain for the first time.
And just really quick, so it's on the record, I think the reason why the Cubs are going to lose the series to the Brewers is because the bats are going to go cold. That's what
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think they'll win at a minimum. They'll win at least one game in this series. At least
yeah,
one game.
I
Hmm.
think you're right. We'll see what happens, but yeah, I think Toronto's in a good spot. They're hot coming into the playoffs too. So I think they win the World Series. All right, quickly, UFC 320. Um, this was a great card.
Oh yeah,
Pereira, obviously the knockout in 120 seconds.
yeah,
It looked like he was just like elbow punching, just like down on Uncle Ayab's face.
yeah. They call those 12-6 elbows, and those were no fun. Those
That
were
looked like
no
it
fun.
hurt big time.
Yeah,
Like
he was in trouble. He's in
And
big trouble.
I think Pereira in his mind, like when he's in the cage waiting for that fight to start, he's like, I gotta make a point, and I gotta do this in like knockout style fashion.
And that's exactly what he did.
I
And
mean,
it proceeded of the UFC to upload the entire fight to YouTube, and within one day it had 6 million views.
yeah, and actually that gave you the ability to, I think, like you said, to watch it on a playback stream, right?
I
So
did. So I gave my would-be reaction to the fight on playback. We not only we did something a little different. We rewatched that fight, and what we're gonna do moving forward is we'll do an Illinois tape study. So I was able to watch the highlights of the Illinois game the day before. So
yeah, that gives you a little bit of uniqueness, that stuff you can do on playback you can't do other places.
no, for sure.
But it was a good card. Pereira looked angry after the fight.
You really did.
Now, I heard a report, by the way, that he broke his foot.
It's true, he did.
God, this guy can't catch a break, can he?
No, he can't.
It's not going to stop him, though, right?
No, I don't think so. But he'll be out for at least 5-6 months, though, because he's got to heal him first.
Right, but that's normal, pretty much, right? After you win a fight, like,
basically, yeah.
What is it? It's like 6 to 8 months usually before you fight again. Usually, if that, it's probably going to be longer, depending.
Yeah.
Do you think his name would ever be thrown on the big card, or no?
On the White House card, and
Yeah.
anything possible. I think how that's going to get determined is if Aspinall beats Cyril Gane, and he does so convincingly in 3.5 weeks, just like Pereira did against Ankalaev, before you start having those discussions, in my opinion.
All right. And the last thing I'll say, I'll ask you is the nonsense with a certain somebody who can't keep their mouth shut going on a media tour about their fight for the White House card.
Yeah.
What is the deal with McGregor? Because now, when we last spoke, he went on Fox and just totally just said, well, I signed my fight. I'm ready to go. And I was a little confused when I saw that at first.
Yeah.
And then I saw something he said the other day. I can't remember what he said, but
he said that it was signed, sealed, delivered, is what he said.
Well, that was the original. And then I saw him say something the other day, which I can't remember at the moment. But Dana's got to be livid right now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And he even said no negotiations have started.
So what's the angle there? Why is he saying he signed his fight?
I think it's to keep him in the news. That's what I think.
But don't you think Conor would know that Dana is very particular about that stuff?
Oh yeah, I literally think he's doing it just as a talking point when he says those things. I honestly don't know what to believe anymore.
But isn't that like a legality type issue too?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Because you're saying, "Oh, I signed my fight." First of all, you have to wait for the Aspinall Gane fight really to know anything, right? I mean,
right.
And we know, and the only thing we know is that Jones is not going to be on the card. That's the only thing we know at this point.
Yeah, at this moment in time, if it were to happen next week, he probably would not be on the card. No.
Oh, you think there might be a chance? You're saying down the line?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, with Pereira winning this past weekend, he wants to go to heavyweight now. There's a lot of variables, so I don't know.
But you kept saying, if I remember correctly, that that's a mistake, right? If Pereira goes to heavyweight,
I still believe that, but now there's an I don't know feeling about that from the brass side of things. So I don't know. It's interesting.
All right, I'll let you get this one in since you have it here. You want to talk about this?
Yeah. So it's on the day we're recording this, but just want to give a quick shout out. Every year on October 6th is World CP Day. I would CP, as many of you guys know who listen, watch, and read my stuff. So I just wanted to say thank you for all of your guys' support and what you guys do for me, both from a personal standpoint and a professional standpoint. So just knowing that disability representation exists is a big deal, and it's a day that I always cherish, and I think should be celebrated a little bit more often than just one day. But hey, October 6th is the annual date, so I figured I'd throw it in it's something that I think more people should take more note of. So
also remembering to wear green if you're representing this day. Also, I happen to know that because I've had some friends who have CP also. So, big deal. If you're part of that day, wear green. It's a representation of the day, just so people know. But that'll do it for episode 290. A little bit of an expanded version of ETB this week. Make sure you follow us on social media at ETB Sports, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Make sure you follow the Empty the Bench podcast network at ETB Network, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, ETB Network. Make sure you follow our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network.
You mean ETB Sports is what you mean.
Well,
for the socials.
Well, for the socials for the show, but yes.
Yeah.
And then for our channel, youtube.com/ETB Network, we are at 1,030 subscribers. So please help us grow that number. We are getting closer to the watch hours, which allows us to be monetized on our YouTube channel. And the faster you help us get to that number, the quicker we can provide way more content and way more abilities to do things. So please, if you're watching on the video side, hit the button below the video. If you're listening, just go to youtube.com/ETB Network. If you can't watch on the video side, listen to Empty the Bench wherever you get your podcast. All podcasting platforms, it will be available. And Empty the Bench is presented by Playback. Check us out. We are doing MLB Playoffs, NFL Red Zone. If we have time, WNBA Finals, and some other stuff along the way as well. All right. Anything left to say before we go?
I don't think so. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Enjoy all of the madness that is the world in sports across all the different sports. And for those of you looking for, I guess, a replay of Bando's breakdowns, that'll be at your disposal in the next couple of days. But until then, keep it locked in on all the socials, and we'll see you guys next week for what should be the beginning of a very packed October. We promised a beast of an episode, and he delivered it, and we're excited to see what episode 291 brings. But until then, hope you guys have a good one, and we'll catch you all soon.
Have a good one. He's Zain Bando. I'm Nick Morgasen. Episode 291 next week. We will see you then.
Have a good one.